Hello guys, are you still with me? I think
Yes,
yeah, I was able to start the recording. Yes, yeah, it's recording. Okay, so we could have some num1, let's say num1 could be equal to 7, and then we could have something like const num2 is equal to 6, right? All right. And then I can write my if statement that if num1 is greater or equal to num2, then something should happen. I could say, okay, console.log. I want to use backtick. Num1. Okay, let me just say, okay, backtick $ curly bracelets. Num1 is greater than num2. Yep. Immediately I see, you see 7 is greater than 6. Is because this condition resulted to a true. Num1 is num1. If num1 is greater or equal to 2, or we are testing for greater, so let me remove the equality sign. You see, actually 7. So, but if let me change this guy now to 6 and save it. You see, there's nothing happening in my console because we didn't handle a situation where they are equal or this guy is less than. Let's say maybe I have this guy to be 5 instead and I save. You see, there's nothing in my console because we didn't handle it for that if. For the falsy part of this statement, that's where the if else now comes into play, right? That's where the if else. So maybe we could go further and say, okay, else. Sorry, that's where the else comes into play. Else console.log. Okay, console.log. The $ curly bracelets num1 is not equal to num2. You see? Now this is the falsy part of it. 5 is not equal to 6, right? And yes, you see 5 is not equal to 6. But let's say this becomes, let's say this becomes 15. I save. You see 15 is greater than 6. That's this, it is this block of code that is running. But a situation where this condition is false, that's where this guy now runs. Let's try something and see. Maybe let me see if this is gonna work. Let's see if this is gonna work. Yes. What I did now is I just wanted to try. We have played with some of these things, right? This is the negation. Remember when we were discussing negation here, not. When we said it's a boy is false, but when we negate it's a boy, this was false, but when we negate it, it will now change it from from false to true. If this was true, it's going to change it to false. It's like changing it to the opposite, right? Now look at the original condition is num1 is greater than num2. Yes, num1 is greater than num2. That's true. This is true, but I now negated it. That's now forced this true value to become a false using this not. That's why you see this second block of code running here that num2 is not equal to. That's why I say I just use this deliberately so that I understand how that works as well. This, but not using that, right? So see how 15 is greater than 6. That's this block running now. I don't know does that make I don't know if that person should kindly mute himself. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Oh, thank you. Does this make sense, guys? Hello guys, are we together? Please, why do you have sign? Juliet, I don't understand your question. Maybe you should rephrase it again, please. Or if you can unmute yourself and ask, I'll be glad to.
So maybe she's talking about the dollar sign.
Oh, the dollar sign. Okay, basically, maybe I don't overdo. Please don't mind me, right? Okay, how am I going to explain it? Okay, basically, this is what I just did. Let me comment. Okay, if I'm to write this thing normally, I could say something like console.log num1 plus num1, then the text is greater than, right? Let me copy this text. This is a string. I'll put it in quotation marks. I'm putting spaces, don't worry. In fact, let me not put the spaces so that you see the error I will get. And then you understand why I did that, plus num2. This is going to work still. Can you see 15 is greater than 6, but see both of them are kind of joined together, right? So I can just easily come and put a space at the beginning here and then a space at the end. You see it's well properly written now, right? Or alternatively, I could still do something like this. I could say, okay, empty space, then put a plus here, and then I could put another plus here, and then empty space. Yeah, see, this still works fine. But now here, plus is serving as concatenation. Concatenation, we are concatenating. Now, let me show you guys something quickly. Let's say maybe you do something like, okay, let's say I have something like const A equal to 10, and then I have something like const B equal to what? Equal to 50, right? And then let me console log, and then I have something like console.log A plus B. And I save this guy. You see, gave us 100, yeah? 50 plus 50, that's equal to 100, right? But now let me change this guy now to a string. A string. This is a string now. And when I save this, you see what we got? 50, 50. So basically, you can add a number and a string. So when this becomes a string, it's now, okay, let me do something again. Let me add type of this guy. Okay, no, that's not just that. Let me put this in a bracket. Yes, you see, type of that guy is a string. That's when you try to add a number and a string, it gives you a string. Right? Okay. I don't know if I was able to make any sense. So coming here now, this is like me trying to form a sentence using, I now put a number. I'm concatenating, so it's going to add them together, right? So if I come back, okay, this guy here now, let's say maybe I did something like, I now decided to put a space. Let me remove type of. I now decided to put a space here, plus, and save this. You see 50, 50 apart. So this is like just me trying to form a sentence around these guys here, right? That say, okay, the number, bring out this first num, then write is greater than. That's this. Remember, I'm comparing. I'm saying that num1 is greater than this. If this condition is true, then okay, print on the console that num1 is greater than num2. That's if this condition is true. But if it is not, then do the same print here. But okay, now what I ended up using is I ended up using JavaScript ES6. ES6, right? This is an advanced feature. Yeah, it's a modern JavaScript. right? A modern way of writing JavaScript. So instead of me, okay, now JavaScript now say, okay, instead of you going through this stress or writing num1 plus space plus all this plus this, why can't you just say, okay, now give us the provision to call our variables using this $ and a curly bracelet inside a backtick. This is a backtick. It's not a single quote, it's a backtick. So basically, that's just what's happening here, and that's what's happening here. But this is the other route you could go about it, right? But with the modern features of JavaScript, instead of stressing yourself, repeating quotation marks, you could just easily go this route and then achieve the same purpose. I don't know if I was able to do justice to that. Sorry, the voice is faint.
I understand now.
Oh, that's great.
Samuel,
Yes.
sorry, please. So does that mean concatenation no longer works in JavaScript?
It does work. It does work. Look, we just used it here. Remember, we just used it on this line. It works,
Yes,
right?
it works. Just that it's less easier to use the $sign.
So that's all me too, I'm saying.
Yes, it works.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
So, but it's kind of outdated now. Or
not like
that.
it's if it's writing using this pattern that is a bit, should I say, outdated? Not really outdated, because you can use this method in a very large code base, it will still going to work, right? But this just makes the whole thing faster for you. Instead of you going through the stress of writing this plus, look at how many plus we are written: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then look at just trying to get space. But with this now, you just type it one line as a single sentence and you move. But now there are still instances. Maybe when you're doing things like DOM manipulation, you still need this concatenation. You still can't do without it. There are instances that warrant you to make use of it that you just can't do without concatenating, just the plus sign. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thank you. So I believe we're able to look at both if and if else at the same time here, right? So just the if is only the code blocks runs for true conditions only. Then the else now handles the falsy part of it. That's if this results to a false, then the else part runs. But if this results to a true, then this block runs. Right? Okay, then let's look at the if else, if else, if else, if else. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me comment out this so that we'll have a clean console. All right. Then looking at the if else, if else. Okay, the if else is just used to test multiple conditions, right? It's just basically used to test multiple conditions. We could have something like scores is equal to 70. Okay, yeah, 70. So we could have something like, okay, if scores is greater or equal to 80, if this is equal to 80, we could simply say console.log scores. Sorry, let me use the backtick. So get familiar with it. We could have scores equal the $ scores. Sorry, this is small data. Scores and grade. Let me write this in caps. Grade equal A, right? So basically, we're just trying to print out the scores and someone's grade, right? Now, if the score of this person is greater or equal to 80, we should have this in the console. Let's say, okay, the person now scored 80. That's why it scores 80. That's this where the scores is coming in. And then your grade is A. Let's say the person now score 85, you see scores is 85 and the grade is A still, right? But what if the person now score below? That's what we could have multiple condition. Sorry. Else if scores is greater, if scores is greater or equal to 70, I want to make a deliberate error here so we could understand how some of these things work. Okay, then I could say, okay, console.log backtick. Let me just copy this guy up here and save ourselves the stress. Okay, this and then grade is B. Okay, but what? Let me just put the 70 here now. Let's see, 70. Yeah, it scores 70 B, right? Okay, this works. Fine. So that's from 70 upward. Let's say if person scored 75. Yes, score 75B, right? But once it gets to 80, the first condition now runs, right? I hope that makes sense. We could see have another condition. This particular condition, right? There are so many ways people could write it, right? I can even go further and increase this thing and say, okay, if scores is greater than 70 and scores less than 80. Yeah, this is just this, okay, greater, that's anything from 70 upward, but less than 80 should print this guy. So let's say maybe I have something like 70, 79, I save it, it still works fine, right? But you could just keep it just with this guy, scores being greater or equal to 70, because once the score is equal to 80, it's not even going, this loop is not going to run. This block will not run completely because this block will take care of it, right? Or we could just, okay, let me just leave it here. Basically, I just want us to understand that we can have all these comparison, we can have multiple comparisons, right, on a particular condition. That's why I decided to go that route. Okay, let's go further and say, okay, if scores now, let me not use greater again, is less than 70 and scores is greater than 60. Is greater than or equal to 60. Console.log. Oh, why am I still doing this? Okay, C here, right? So let me change this scores to 60. Scores is not defined. Scores is not defined. Score. Okay, this is an S. Sorry, scores. Okay, yes, yeah, score is equal to 60 and grade is C. That's this block now, right? So let's say 69. We'll save it. It's still running within the C axis, right? Let me just stop there. So we could all your S if we can continue this S if as many times up to D, E, F, C downward, right? Or could even just end it here and say, okay, if the S part of it now, the S part of it is handling anything below 60. Let's see, okay, you got a D, you see, right? So anything below 60, if it is 1, you're going to get a D. If it is 2, you're going to get a D. If it is 30, you're going to get a D. If it is 59, you're going to get a D. But you can continue with this as if to handle for D, E, F, and the likes, and down to even P, right? I hope that makes sense. Any question about this guy before we proceed to the next guy? Or should I use try another example with the as if? Okay, I want to believe we are all on the same page. I don't know, just a quick check. Can you guys still hear me? Are you still with me? Okay, RF said no, it's understood. Thank you. All right, let's proceed then. Okay, now let's look at the switch. The switch statement. We have switch. The switch. Now, what the switch does is it's just an alternative for this guy. It's just an alternative for this guy. Let's say maybe I have something like if maybe we have something like const day is equal to, let's say, Monday. We could say, okay, if day is equal to Monday, we could say something like console.log it's in quotes, it's work day, right? Then let me copy this. I can have else, not caps, else if day is equal, well, this Tuesday, this is supposed to be in quotation. Let me use the double quote. You can as well use the single quote, doesn't matter, right? Let me put this guy too. Okay, as if this guy console.log it's another week work day. So else if day is equal to Wednesday, if it's equal to Wednesday, we'll still do console.log it's work day. Else if day is equal to Thursday, we still have this guy. We could say, okay, else if day is equal to a Friday, we still have this guy. Then else, are you not tired of the else if already? Else if day is equal to Saturday, we could say console.log it's weekend is week, and we'll copy this. We could see have another else. Okay, we could end that with else is weekend. So obviously it means this guy is now handling for Sunday, right? So we see day is Monday. That's what we're saying. It's work day, right? If this changes to Tuesday, you still see it's work day, right? Okay, I should have added day. Okay, let me just do something here quick. Let me do plus day. So we'll actually be looking at the days. Let me copy this. And then here, 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 here. Okay, here and here. It's not needed here. Okay, you see, once Tuesday, we can see it's work day Tuesday. That means this is the block of code that's running. Work day Tuesday, yeah, this right. So now if it is Saturday, we'll save this. You see, it's weekend Saturday. But now let's change it to Sunday. We'll see the last block will now run. It's weekend Sunday. This is the block that is running. So now instead of you going this route as if, we could just now go ahead and use the switch statement and say, okay, switch will now place our condition here. Right? They're not really, or we'll place our value here, what we're trying to check for, right? So how did you do that? Do you mean, okay, writing on multiple lines? I think I want to believe that's what you're asking. So now if you press, you see my cursor is blinking here. If you press down the Alt key on your keyboard, say, and then you can highlight the places you want to write. You can see. And then I can write at these multiple lines at the same time. This is a comment, right? So it's just the Alt key, right? And again, you can still, maybe I've highlighted comment and I noticed that, okay, I want to change all this comment at the same time. You can press Ctrl D on your keyboard, D. You see that is selected, D, highlight all of them. So I see I can wipe all of them at the same time. And then I can write another thing. I want to write comment. Yep, I hope that makes sense. All right, so using the switch key now. So here now we're going to place what we want to test for. So basically we want to test for day. Okay, so welcome. So now here we want to test for day, then we'll have our block. Okay, let me comment out all of this guy now. Okay, so inside the switch, switch has different cases. Like we saw in the slide, it has different cases. I don't know if you can still see this. But anyway, let's just go to our code. I'll show us here. Right? So it has different cases, right? You could have a case, column, case, Monday. If it is, oh, am I missing? I'm doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is it. So case is Monday. So, okay, we could do something like, oh man, let me just copy this and make use of it. It's just this console.log I'm copying to save us time. Case is Monday, this guy, then break. So what I'm basically saying is, if this day here is Monday, change this to Monday. You see, if it is Monday, console.log, it's work day. Can you see? Let me comment out this other block here. Shift. Oh, no. Okay. Now you see what's happening. Day. Remember, these are day. Let me bring it down. It's Monday, right? So case is Monday. Console.log, it's work day, and then the day, right? Then we'll now break the code. Then we could have multiple cases. Case is Tuesday. Tuesday, put the column sign, then we could write console. Oh no. Copy this guy, put this guy here, and then we'll have the break. That's end that program. So let me change this to Tuesday. You see, it's work day Tuesday. Let me save again. See, it's work day Tuesday, right? So then we could have another case Wednesday. We could have the console.log, and then we'll break the code. Then we could have, let me just copy this and drop it here. So this will be for Thursday. This should be for Friday. This should be for Saturday. But remember, Saturday is not a work day, it's a weekend. It's a weekend. Then we could have a default. Oops. A default. And then we'll paste this guy here, and then we'll break. I don't know. I kind of feel this looks neater. Let's test. If it is Wednesday, I'll save it. Oh, yeah, we see it's week. Oh, sorry, it's because of the way I wrote it. Wednesday. You see, it's work day weekend. Sorry, it's work day Wednesday, right? So if this is Friday, it's going to give us it's work day Friday. If this is Saturday, it's work day Saturday, right? Instead of using this for Sunday, let me have another case for Sunday as well. Control copy, paste, and then let me change this guy to Sunday. Then I could say for the default, let me put something like invalid day. Right? Don't see all that. So if it is Sunday, it's weekend, right? But if I type rubbish here, that does not make any sense. Invalid day, that's this default block now. If the user input what does not exist in this condition, right? Then throw this, right? Even working with the else if, maybe we could have even given this Sunday an else if, then the else could be serving as the default. I don't know if I kind of feel this is more neater than the as if. So you guys tell me, what do you think? Hello guys, are we still together?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Today
The switch statement is neater.
It's neater, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's more understandable.
It's more understandable, right?
Yes.
It's more understandable
Than the else if, yeah. So
Yeah.
when testing for multiple cases, I always prefer going for this, because this as if sometimes you could even get lost in your own as if, right? So at least you just have a case that you're testing for, and then if this happens, you now write your code block that, okay, this is the thing that will happen. Okay, after you finish running this code, break the code. By break, it means do not execute this down part. Just leave this code, this block completely, and go to the next thing, right? So basically, that's what we have for. Can we put all the conditions with the same output in an if statement? Can we put all the conditions with the same output? I don't get Ijoma. Can we put all the conditions with the same output? in an if statement. Sorry, I don't quite understand what you mean. I don't know if you could unmute yourself and ask me the question properly, or if you could kindly rephrase. Or if anybody understands, you explain to me so I could address that. Sorry, this is not capital letter break, it's small letter break, right? So if you type any day that's not here, that last thing, the day, you see invalid day, right? So basically that is it for conditional statements. So the next thing I want us to look at quickly before we wrap up for today, I don't know if, okay, before we wrap up for today is loops, or should we reserve loops for tomorrow's class? And time is almost, we are almost out of time. Right? Okay, hello guys. I think maybe we should do loops. Well, tomorrow's class we'll be looking at loops, and we'll look at loops and array. Loops and array. And then if we have time, we'll look at functions, because this is the core of our technical assessments, trust me. This is the core of the technical assessment. So when we're done with these key concepts, subsequently we'll be trying to solve out some algorithm problems, right? Because most of the technical assessment is going to comprise of some algorithm questions. And then tomorrow's class, I bet you, is a class you may not want to miss at all. It's a class you may not want to miss. Covering the key concepts that you may encounter during your assessment. So I don't know if you have any question before we jump off the call for today. Any question? Any question, guys? Ijoma,
it's clear.
okay, Ijoma, I still haven't answered your question. Because I don't seem to, I don't understand what you mean. I don't know if you can unmute yourself and talk to me. It makes a lot of sense. But does anybody understand what she's trying to ask? Can we put all the conditions? Okay, guys, in absence of any questions, we could call it a day for today. Please try to join the call much early tomorrow so that we'll keep within 9 to 10, right? I think we have gone past 10 already. Okay, thank you, and do have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.